All right, in this video, we're gonna go through personal brand strategy and approach. This is like the theory and psychology behind how to build a cult-like personal brand. So, personal brand strategy. The most lucrative personal brands have two notable attributes. The first one is that they create cult-like fandom with their audience. This means that their viewers love binging their content and supporting them across every surface. The second thing is they build high authority via demonstrated expertise within their category. So cult-like fandom and high authority, those are the critical things to building a lucrative personal brand. Now, a cult-like personal brand, which is a term I like to use a lot, has both of these components. So let's break down exactly what's required to build a cult-like personal brand. So really the dream scenario, if you're watching this and you're playing game 5 or game 2, but even game 3 or 4, to be honest, if you want to build a cult-like brand, the dream scenario is to build a cult-like personal brand in your category, often referred to as a category cult. Now, what this really means is that when an on-target potential buyer thinks of a problem or a topic, your name or your brand is the first thing that pops into their head as the go-to to solve it. They seek you out for answers. That's really what a cult brand is. If I say automotive, if you're the number one name tied to that I go to solve my automotive problems, well, then you have a cult-like personal brand in the automotive category. The reason they think of you when the topic comes up is because you have built authority as the category go-to. And when you have this reflexive personal brand recall, you really can't lose. That's where the most valuable personal brands come from. So the logical next question is, how do we unlock this cult-like personal brand effect? The secret to everything when it comes to personal brands is trust. If you are known as the person in the category that has the most interesting or valuable content, you build trust faster than everyone else. If you have the most trust, you have the most reflexive recall. That's where cults come from. When you build enough trust, people often want to buy from you more often at higher prices, which is what everybody wants. So to keep going down this logic line, how do we build trust faster? Well, this is the trust value equation. Trust equals value. Value equals usefulness plus novelty, plus compelling, right? So usefulness is, are we solving a pain point they actually have? Is it useful for them? Novelty is, are we sharing something that's unique? And then compelling, are we sharing something that is interesting or could be framed as entertaining to them? Those three things combine together to create value. So trust, if it was measured as a metric, accrued weekly, is just value times the number of posts you make times the number of views per post. How much value per post, how often are you making a post, and how many people are seeing that? That's the size of trust that's accrued weekly. So what that means is if you maximize the value delivered per post and you just post more than everyone else, you will accrue trust faster than everyone else in your niche. Okay, so the real crux here, if trust equals value, well then what does value actually mean? Can we define that a little bit further beyond just like useful plus novelty plus compelling? What does that mean? What is value? The core driver of value is usefulness. Are the things you're saying in your videos actually useful to an on-target buyer to help them solve your pain points? And this really is the core difference. Viewers see value as something interesting. Buyers see value as solutions, direct, non-obvious, useful solves for a nagging pain point. If you want buyers, you just have to frame your content as valuable solutions. Now, I said up here, the core driver of value is usefulness. So what is usefulness? Well, usefulness is defined as non-obvious tactical recommendations. There's that phrase again that I've said several times already. These have immediate positive effect when implemented. So let's break that down even further. And you can tell I'm going to the atomic unit because this is how you really understand what drives things. So let's break both of those down. Why is non-obvious important? When people learn something new that can solve their problem, they attribute subconscious credit to the source that gave them that insight. If you share things that are already known, you don't get that credit. It goes back to the same reason why people share. It's because they want that credit, that professional or social credit. Same idea here. The source credit gets attributed to whoever is the first person to share this interesting insight. This is why when you share something it's already heard, even though it's insightful, people are not that impressed. The more non-obvious your points, the more unclaimed credit is given. All this boils down to is this. You want to give contrarian takes that people haven't heard before. If in your content you share things that are new and then actually help people, they will attribute trust to you faster. It's very simple. Now, why tactical and immediately implementable? Why does that matter? The shorter the distance between learning something and then actually seeing the benefits from using it, the more credit you attribute to the source. speed to success makes things seem better than they were because they're easier to benefit from. So really the big takeaway is this. I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. You just got to share new stuff people haven't heard that they can take and actually use to get the result you're promising. If you can share stuff that are non-obvious and easy for them to implement, you will earn max credit. And if you earn max credit the fastest, that's how you accrue the most trust in your category. You're going to watch me do this in the marketing niche as you're consuming this. I will scale and own the niche by the end of 2026, and it's because I will share the most non-obvious, tactically implementable stuff at the highest volume to the most people. The math problem is really just as simple as that. So to summarize, all you need to do is make videos that are high value density, meaning they're rich in non-obvious, tactically implementable suggestions. For short form, because each video is so short, all you need to do is focus on every video having one core value dense nugget and then just doing that over and over. The rest of this program is specifically designed to help you find the best video ideas and then develop them so that they deliver high value density. Again, all I want to do is help de-risk your effort so that you can make these kind of good videos as fast as possible. All right, that's all I wanted to cover in this video. Next, we're going to go into positioning, which is a very important exercise to write down who your IVA is and how you kind of frame yourself in the niche. So let's go into that video now.